In this video we travel from Impavidus to Milos, Ios and then the Butterfly Island. We get visits from Dolphins and we get a visit from another boat that's now a subscriber. And there's a guy behind us, I don't know if I had the camera straight then, the guy behind us literally came up behind us and said, "Have you got AIS?" We come yards away, literally yards away from being a victim of this ferry, and make sure you watch to the end of this video to see how we got in trouble with the law in Cos and get called illegal immigrants. Dolphins, fog and a dangerous ferry on the boat 109. From last week's location, which was a touch of paradise, we travel east to Milos, the first island in our hop eastwards towards Cos. It's 6:30 in the morning. 6:45 maybe. Yeah, 6:45. We left the anchorage at 5 o'clock this morning. Now heading to Milos. We've got the last finger of the Peloponnese. We're just going around now. I'll show you. Sun's just coming up. Cindy's going to put our second coffee on for this morning, hopefully. We've got 62 miles to go, and at our current speed that will be about 5 PM 1700 hours will arrive. Get the anchor down, and then we're not staying there, we're only staying one night. 78 mile hop today. It's now 9 o'clock in the morning, 47 miles to go. 47. A little bit of wind now as well. Managed to get the sails up. It's only very light, but we are getting some power from the sails. We've cut the revs down. Let me show you what we got. So the wind's at about 41 apparent. So the sails aren't pulled right in. We're not on a beat as such. It's upwind sailing, but not on a beat. About 8 knots of apparent wind. We're probably making 2 knots of that, to be honest. An hour after our intended ETA, we actually slowed down a bit on the way. Turned the engine off and had a couple of hours of relatively good sailing. Somebody's opening an arrival beer. So it's now 1800 hours, 6 PM, and we've arrived at the island of Milos, and the beach here is called Impavidus Beach. Very quiet, not a lot of people around, very shallow in there, some kids and that playing around in the shallows there, but a great big bay. We have about 4 metres, Cindy. What have we got?
3.3 plus keel.
So we're in 3.3 plus our keel, so that's 5 metres. We've come back from where we dropped our anchor, got 25 metres of chain out. I may increase that tonight, just if the wind gets up a little bit, but I don't think it will. I think it will be very light winds. So there's a church on the hill there, apartments there, unfinished building there. It's the first big shallow bay really that we've seen in Greece. They're normally quite deep. Anyway, there is a beer with my name on it. We'll have to take Oscar over the beach later. Right, arrival beer. The following morning we were up and at 'em again, cracking on, piling on the miles. Front of the boat. I say whistling helps bring them on. No, that was me whistling. They say whistling brings them on. Hello, boys. Or maybe whistling drives them away. Gone. It's probably our worst sail shape to date. It's given us our best speed because of the average of the wind. One thing about having a buddy boat is you're never short of a bit of footage of you motor sailing. Thanks, David. We'd worked out where we were going to anchor on Ios, just south of the main port. As we approached the main port, we were under full sail and we could look in and see nothing coming out, so we proceeded to sail on. It's at this point that the catamaran came out, and he didn't slow down. We quickly put our engine on to try and get out of his way, as we were already committed, but he came within a couple of feet of our stern, literally a couple of feet, and the bow wave he put up was 4 feet high. He literally nearly ran us down. Obviously I went on the radio and called him the proverbials on channel 16. Now he was on our port side, we had right of way, we were the stand-on vessel, and yes, I know you shouldn't impede the passage of a commercial vessel, but we were committed and we couldn't see him coming out the harbour. He passed us at about 16 knots. Greek Minister for Tourism, if you're watching and you want to know why 10,000 less yachties came and anchored in your anchorage and ate at your tavernas and supplied their boats from your stores, then just go out and anchor in one of the peaceful bays which used to which used to be so good in Greece, and see what's happened. There are 4 banana boat companies here, and out there there's 10,000 square miles of water that's lovely and flat. Where do they go? Round and round, where there's people swimming, where there's people on paddle boards like that fella there, and where there's people anchored. And that's why there are 10,000 less. It's become so much like Ibiza, and it will get worse. After being thrown around in the boat by the banana boats and jet skis and the skiing school, we got up and moved on. Well, here we are, 6:30 AM. We've been at sea since about 4:30, 5 o'clock. We were woken at 3:30 AM by swell rolling into the anchorage. Very little wind, and the boat was turning on the anchor as the little wind that there was just blew in round the bay. So we decided that as we were awake and weren't going to get any sleep, we'd leave. So the island of Ios is off on our port side. The radio is chattering away. They don't seem to know what a working channel is here. We've got about, I suppose, a half a metre to a metre, yeah, 2'6", 3 foot of swell, and it was right on our beam. So I've put some northing, that way's north, into our course. While Cindy makes a coffee, we'll try and get Oscar. Working channel, get a working channel. So yeah, I'm sorry, where was I? Yeah, so I've put a bit of northing in, get the swell behind us, boat ride's better. So the sun is just rising behind me. We were both awake. So I had an incident this morning following yesterday's incident with the ferry. Came round the headland, fishing boat motoring towards us on our port side. At about 300, maybe 400 yards, I gave him 5 long blasts as we were the stand-on vessel. And the only reason I could see him was because his working lights on the aft deck were on and shining through the pilot house. He'd actually got no top light, no port light, and no starboard light. And it was only when we got right on top of him that we could see he'd got a port light, but very, very dim. I think they were working on the back of the boat, and he'd just got the boat on pilot and was just steering straight towards us, nobody at the helm. Once he got the 5 long blasts, he suddenly turned to starboard and away from us. I turned to starboard as well, but we came within, I guess, 2-3 boat lengths. We were doing 6 knots, and I guess he was doing 8 or 10. So following yesterday's incident, some of the seamanship that we've been seeing in Greece is just horrendous, you know. And it's a shame because, you know, Greece is such a lovely place, and most of the people we've met have been brilliant, lovely. But I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't be here in August when it's height of the season. But Greece is fast becoming the new Ibiza, you know. Loud music playing last night until 2 o'clock in the morning or so. Didn't really get an awful lot of sleep, and then eventually fell asleep. And at 3:30, 3:45, swell started coming in, so pretty knackered, pretty grumpy. But hey ho, Butterfly Island is our next destination. See if I can do something about this jib. Get some wind in it. So the sun's up and it's hot. We've got our shades open on this side, closed on that side, trying to get some air through. It is roasting. We've got the inverter running with a 220 electric fan on Oscar and Cindy. Cindy's taking a snooze. I'm on watch. 6.5 knots of wind, and we're doing 5.5 knots at 1200 RPM. Down to half a tank of fuel, diesel. So at 90, 100 litres, and I've got another 40 litres in cans. We haven't found anywhere for the last, well, since Corona, to get diesel. And we have been doing as much sailing as we can, but it's pointless putting the sails up at the moment. But we're approaching the island. 6 miles away. We've got to go around the end of this island and then round up into it. And the island is shaped like a butterfly. Some people call it Butterfly Island. Apparently the anchorage is really well protected from this swelling. It's a job really to see how much swell there is. It was on the beam. It's now off the stern quarter. It's coming in from there. So just under an hour to go. There's the island that we're going to go round. You can see the headland there. We've washed Oscar down, so we're drying his towel out. We wash him down with a drop of fresh water to cool him down. He's a black dog and he absorbs a lot of heat, so he's more of a grey dog these days. But then we rub him down, put the towel out to dry, and he then goes and lays in front of a cooling fan. Well, that's a bit of a stunning view. The other half of the island, way over there, and the radio's going chitter chatter again. Well, that's pretty. We're going in, just in there. Can't see the opening to the bay at the moment, but it will become obvious apparently. Found an anchorage for the night a bit further down. There's a bit of a quay over there, just looking for somewhere to anchor. And Eternité is right behind us, and of course the wind's gone from nothing to 16 knots in a matter of seconds. Typical. Our original plan was to go into a small harbour just here, but when we got there it was rather busy, and therefore we decided to go further north to a couple of anchorages here. When we first got to the anchorages, we tried 7 times to get good holding and ended up even further east and north, where we eventually got holding. The following morning we were up and at 'em again. Oh, there's a turn up for the books, our first fog. Just left the Butterfly Island, We're about 19 miles to go, so 6 miles out, 7 miles out. Big swell. Some of it's 2 meters, but the wave period's 7 or 8 seconds. We've got our radar on, we've got our AIS Class B transponder on. David's about 300 meters off our port side, slightly ahead of us, and there's a guy behind us. I don't know if I had the camera straight then. The guy behind us literally came up behind us and said, "Have you got AIS?" And then he's following us. We saw him yesterday actually in a motor sailor. That's our automatic fog signal. So we're sailing. We can set it to go off for motoring, motor sailing, fishing, blah 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 blah. Right, here's something in the water. Can't see what it is. Can you take the camera?
Is there something?
It's like an oil drum.
Yeah.
Next time, we run into trouble with the law in Kos. Here's a quick preview. Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
When I booked in to Corfu, if I'm an illegal immigrant, why did you issue me with a transit log in Corfu and stamp it, Port Police and Customs, and then stamp it again at the Port Police and Customs at Kalamatra? You have aided and abetted my illegal immigration into this country, and now you're blaming me for doing something wrong.
From Athens
Only.
to Paris, no passport control.
Really?
Yes, because it's in Schengen area.
But we are not in Schengen.
From Athens to London, passport control.